Okay, rule 4A. If you have a decimal and then a non-zero, so decimal, then a non-zero, any zeros to the right are significant. This would be significant. These all would be significant. This would be the guess, but it would still be significant. So this would have 4 sig figs. Oh, same as before, we're going to figure out everything, put it in scientific notation, all that kind of stuff. So let's look at this first one here. We have 0.00, then a non-zero. We know non-zeros are significant. All right, so the 2 and the 5 are good. We just learned that if you have a decimal and a non-zero, the next, any zeros to the right are going to count. So this 0 does count as well. Since it's the rightmost, it's going to be our guess. And these zeros don't count, which is what we learned in the last rule. So here we have 3 sig figs. The 0 on the right does count. Before we do scientific notation, let's finish this column just to kind of talk about what counts and what doesn't. Okay, next up, we have a decimal, then we have a non-zero, which means any zeros to the right are going to be significant. So significant, significant, significant. 2, 8, and 0 are all significant. Now, which ones are known? The 2 is known, the 8 is known, the 0 is a guess. So we have 3 here as well. Same thing's true for the next 2. Here's your decimal. Here's a non-zero, which means all of these don't count. Even though that they're after the decimal, that doesn't matter. You need both. You need the decimal and the non-zero, then they count. So 3 and 9 always count because they're not zeros. And this one counts as well, this 0 to the right of both a decimal and a non-zero. So this has 3 as well. And the last one. Here we have our decimal, we have a non-zero, all right, so that always counts. And then because we had that decimal and the non-zero, the 0 to the right counts as well. So this has 2 sig figs. Now let's fill in some check marks. This was known, guess, known, known, guess. Okay, now we need to do scientific notation for all of these. Pause the video, give it a try, and then just start the video back up and you'll be able to see the answers for the scientific notation. All right, so first one we do 0.00250. Now we need to move this over 1, 2, 3 times. When we do that, it'll be 2.50 because again, you don't show these zeros because they're not significant, but they are important. They're important for figuring out the scientific notation. So now we have 2.50 times 10. Okay. This, we went to the right, which means it's going to be negative, and we went over 3 times. So our answer should be 2.50 times 10 to the negative third. Yes, you need that because it's significant, right? You said 3 sig figs, you have to show 3 sig figs. Okay, next up, we have 0.280. For this one, we're moving it over just once. That'll give us 2.80. Do you have to show all 3? Yes, because there's 3 sig figs. Everything needs to have 3 sig figs. All right, you moved it over 1 time, and it was going to the right. So that's still negative, and it's -1 because you moved it 1 spot. Next up, 0.0000390. Okay, 1, 2, 3, you need all those, the 3, 9, and the 0. We moved it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 3.90 times 10, because you moved it to the right, it's negative, and we said we moved it 5 times. Last but not least, we have 0.70. We're moving it over once. That'll give us 7.0. There's 2 sig figs, right? So they both count. Times 10 to the, we moved it over once, -1, because we went to the right.